I love it. I love it. You call it whatever the hell you want. The idea that there is a movement for hard work is exciting to me.
I hear you on
that there is a movement. Call it ball busting. I don't give a damn what you call it. The idea that you want to say, hey, we're locking in. We're going to focus on our goals. We're going to try and improve ourselves. I'm going to run that. Dude,
that's fair.
Show me more of that. Hey there, hi there, ho there, and welcome to another episode of the Better Merch, Better Marketing podcast. I am one of your hosts, and we are back. I'm Kirby Hasseman, and I'm excited to be joined by our branding bestie, the other co-host of this fine podcast, Jade Crider. Jade, how are you?
I am doing magically wonderful. It's a good day. The sun is shining here, frankly. It's fairly warm out. It's like 80 degrees here in the middle of October,
nice.
Which you don't get in Ohio. So I'm enjoying these sunny days. How about you?
I'm doing well. Back in the office. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit about it. We, if people were paying attention, we did take the week off last week as we sort of made a choice to be on vacation, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But whenever you do that, that's great. But it is all about getting your arms back around things and making sure you aren't too far behind. And so, as we record this, I'm getting there. Getting there. I'm not there.
So we got to bring you back up.
Yeah. But yeah, things are good. Hey, if you are new around here, we are the Better Merch, Better Marketing podcast. It's brought to you by Hasseman Marketing. We try to help you elevate your merch and your marketing, and you can learn more about us at hassemanmarketing.com. If you're in the marketing space, you're an entrepreneur, we've got the Target Marketing Playbook. I would encourage you to check that out. It's free. And also you can get my book, Hit the Target, for free as well. So all kinds of tools there at hassemanmarketing.com. Okay, so let's dive in today. You were driving the bus on this for topics this week, and I appreciate that. So do you want to lead us off?
Yeah, and if I look over here to the left, if you're watching it, it's because I'm reading, because some of this is you have to kind of know the numbers. So we're starting off. If you are somebody who watches football, you probably already noticed this. I have not. However, I have seen it all over TikTok. And so this year, in order to watch the NFL, you have to be subscribed or a part of, or have, some of them you can buy like a 4-month package or whatever, but 6 different platforms and pay around $482. That's a lot. And I think that was like technically monthly if you did certain ones. Now I think that was probably maximum, so keep that in mind. But I've made a couple notes about this, so I'll say those really quickly and then we can kind of get into that if that's okay.
Okay.
So I said, here's the thing. Marketers are in the same boat as you. They can no longer rely on the channel to reach their audience, and they are now having to pick and choose. This goes to show why knowing your target audience is so important. Obviously, they know theirs with ESPN and things like that of who to target on which platform. But it was really interesting. The analogy that it used was that HR, you might go more for like LinkedIn. If you're looking for HR professionals, you might go more for a LinkedIn. Whereas if you're looking for the younger buyers, you might be going towards TikTok. I know I told you what was going on with this topic, but I'm curious to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. Actually, I have an additional thought while you were going through the notes. So the first thing is exactly what you said. It makes it more challenging because for a long time, it's like, if you wanted to be in the NFL, I mean, it was like, okay, you can advertise on CBS, whether it's nationally or locally, or Fox. And then you're like, okay, I'll get ESPN to cover it. And you're kind of good. I mean, there might be a few things, but you sort of saw this coming as streaming got more and more into it. And now it's Prime. I think Netflix has games. Was it Hulu recently had another game, and then of course there's the NFL Network.
Peacock had one. Yeah. ESPN Plus, YouTube. I did a lot of research on this. I'm not gonna lie. I was very proud of myself considering it was football.
Yeah. So I say that to say that it is hard to target, and I think that is going to be a bit of a new world because you could at least buy packages and different things like that in the past. You can still do that, but it's just the audiences are getting more and more divergent. And so to your point, understanding the demographics and what you're trying to do, and what you're, not only who you're target marketing, which of course matters on any platform, but then what's the messaging that's going to break through the clutter in those, right? Because even though it's on streaming, there are still ads. So what does that look like? There's a lot of confusion. The other thing that I thought, and this is the thing that just popped into my head that's kind of interesting, is it really does show you the power of the NFL. Like, I know you don't like football, but the idea that these ginormous organizations are hitching their wagon in every, hey, you got a Thursday night game? Oh, that product's going to be crap, but we'll take it. Like, because there's so many eyeballs that follow the NFL and they're dedicated, right? And so the lesson in there is like, okay, what are brands, what are events, what are things that in your space, once you understand that target market, what are they that you could co-brand with? These advertisers are co-branding essentially with the NFL, and or like ESPN is co-branding with the NFL and CBS, but what are those things in your area or your community or your industry? And what are those things that you could co-brand with? Because I think often as marketers, we miss those opportunities because like we could partner with someone who also serves our perfect customer, but does it with a different product or a different service. And you go, oh, how do we combine our marketing power and our marketing budget and serve the client better? And I think that's an interesting opportunity that pops into my head on this discussion.
Well, and it's funny, I'm listening to a lot of different stuff on like, sales and marketing and stuff like that as I continue to grow. But the thing that is repetitive across no matter whose podcast you're listening to, no matter what book you're listening to, is always like, put yourself in the person you're selling something to, put yourself in their shoes and hear your speech through their shoes, hear what you're selling through their shoes. And this kind of circles back to that of like, if you're the consumer, if I'm the consumer and Netflix and Hulu do a bundle for the football season, I know that that's a really bad example, but like suddenly that actually really benefits me, but it also benefits the both of them because now I've signed up for 2 subscriptions instead of 1. And so doing it in a way that you're putting yourself in the customer's shoes to go like, oh, hey, this would actually really benefit them. But in reality, we're teaming up to kind of get some more money kind of thing. So,
well, both things can be true though. And so it reminds me of, so Mike Michalowicz, you've heard me talk about him. He's the author of Profit First. And I'm going to reference another book he wrote called The Pumpkin Plan. And he taught, again, it goes back to knowing the audience. And so knowing it super well. So he had, and it's been years since I've read this book, so I'm going to do my best, but the overall lesson fits. He had like an IT company. Okay. That was one of his early companies. And he serviced everybody, right? And then at some point he decided, you know what? We service this one industry really well. And so he pruned off a bunch of the rest of his clients and just went all in on this. And what he discovered, and this goes to what we're talking about here, is that there was like this one desk that all these IT people used. And so he reached out to the desk company and said, hey, how can I make your life easier? Just not trying to sell anybody anything. Is there anything we could do that would just make your life easier? And he was like, and the desk company was like, oh, well, God, yeah. Actually, the way you wire it right now is actually kind of a pain for us. So if you could just wire it this way, that would help us out a ton. They're like, no problem. We'll do that every time. Well, then the desk company starts only recommending their IT firm because and so by servicing the people who service your customer, all of a sudden it was like, that is
interesting.
It pops in my head. And I think it's the same thing for us in marketing and small business and whatever, that you're like, okay, once I can hone in on exactly who I'm trying to sell to, it changes the way I create an offer. It changes the way I go to market. And then when you can create those partnerships, those arm in arm things that say, okay, how do we, whether we have competing services or overlapping services, or just we have different services, but we both service the same person. How do we do that better? And that I really do think there's some magical unlocks there.
Interesting. You've got my brain going about how we can do that. So that's
Yeah.
really cool. We're gonna have to talk about that later for sure.
Every once in a while, right? And again, it's
Every
not my
once in a while,
idea.
you say something.
Yeah, it's not my idea. It's Mike McAllowitz's idea. So, yeah.
Fair.
Okay. So, but yeah, I think back to the original topic because I took it way down a road, so I
Yeah,
apologize.
but it was interesting.
Yeah, because I think one of the things that we try to do is take on a trending topic, but then tie it back to a lesson that might actually, most of us are not the
Hmm.
NFL. Most of us are not
Right.
Disney, right? Like, so how do we
Hmm.
utilize the lessons? And I think it is a challenge for consumers, but that's true of the changing landscape of consuming content, whatever it is right now.
Hmm.
And so, there's the good and the bad with these splintering platforms, but understanding how you can reach your audience still comes back to the foundational thing of knowing your audience.
Hmm. And I still have mixed emotions about all the different platforms because the show that I want to watch is always on the one that I don't have a subscription to at the time. Always. Like I
Yeah.
have to switch them so regularly. I could just buy them all, but that feels like overkill.
Yeah.
So
100%.
it's such a fight every single time. Anyways,
Yep. No,
I
I'm
could
with
get
you.
on a rant about that for like
Yeah.
3 days.
Yeah.
Um, okay, next topic is kind of, we alluded to it earlier, and this will probably be a little bit of a quicker one, but we took last week off of the podcast, and that was partially because we were on vacation, and we just wanted to enjoy it. But I didn't know if you had any thoughts or comments, concerns. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. So, for background, if you don't know, Jade and I are father and daughter. And
Mhm.
so we went on a family trip where
Mhm.
it was me and Amy, Skylar and her boys, and Jade and John, and it put the whole family together. We were missing Keith because he wasn't able to be there, but um, I just wanted to be there. And I think
Mhm.
the two things that I guess I would ask you about, right,
Mhm.
is number one, how did you do disconnecting? Because that's one of the things I
Mhm.
think we are challenged with. And then two is how did you or did you keep up with work at all? Were you able, did you completely cut it off? Did you like, what
Mhm.
was your, because I'm older and have more experience at going on vacations and trying to keep
Mhm.
up. Whether I do it well or
Mhm.
not is a separate discussion.
Mhm.
But were you able to disconnect?
Mhm.
And then how did you do keeping up, or did you just say no? I'll do it when I get back.
Did not disconnect worth a crap. Um,
Okay.
I my work life balance probably wasn't perfect. However, to an extent, I don't think it tampered the vacation by any means. Ironically, we did have some rainy days while you guys were here, and so really, like when it was rainy and we had nothing else to do, is when I found myself working, which I don't think is a bad thing. We were bored, but I think there's two kind of tiers to this. Number one, I think it was a well-timed trip for what it's worth.
Mhm.
So credit to you because you did book that. Because number one, we had just finished our customer appreciation show, and those of you listening, if you don't know, I do take a little bit of a heavier role in that specific event. It's something that I spend a lot of time on, and so it was kind of like a, okay, I have a minute before we have to think about next year's. A minute. That's about it. No, I'm just kidding. But so it was well timed for that, but also as it started the third quarter, and I do feel like here in just the last couple months, I've fourth quarter, thank you, ended the third quarter is what I meant. One of those. But I feel like it's been interesting to switch to outside sales, and so I did do a lot of brainstorming while we were on the trip. So I don't know that I did a great job of like fully checking out by any means, but because we had just had our staff meeting where we were talking about a lot of our third quarter goals and stuff, it was kind of nice. I'm gonna say it right one of these times. Fourth quarter goals. It was nice to be able to step out of my office, whatever office that was. It was nice to kind of step away and just think about all those goals and kind of get rejuvenated and recharged to now make them all happen. And now, of course, it's been really busy because, stuff is working. So I'm curious your thoughts.
Yeah. So for me, I did an okay job of disconnecting from work. And I kind of had to, honestly, because I think that when you go on a family trip like this, you know,
There's a lot going on.
got Quincy running around, we got Shay running around, we got everybody's,
JJ running around.
yeah, that's right. Uh, and so that was good, right? Like now I didn't. I don't know that I would call it a super relaxing, like sit by the beach because of the rain and because of whatever, but
Hmm.
it was good to unplug a little bit. But I've gotten to a place where, and this just works for me, it's not for everybody. I still get up pretty early. Like you can tell me I get to sleep in, but my body's like, hey, 5:30, hello.
Hmm.
And I force myself to sleep till 6 maybe, and then I get up.
Uh-huh.
And so from 6 to whenever everybody else gets up, I can at least monitor email,
Yeah.
catch up, do that sort of thing. And so
Mhm.
that, and for many years, people criticize me about that, saying, no, just go on vacation. I get it. And if you should do what works for you. But for me, that actually provides me a little bit of peace that I know
Right.
we're good.
Hmm.
That being said, I will say that in the last couple of years, the July experiment where I took out of the office helped with
Hmm.
that. And so I think I'm getting better at
Hmm.
that. And back to your point with setting the fourth quarter goals, um, I those goals for me have changed. They're different kinds of work for me.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so it was actually kind of cool for me in those mornings to be like, oh, I'm going to be working on this kind of thing.
Hmm.
And I know that I feel like they're the right kinds of goals for me right now because they're not only different, but they're a little scary for me and a little exciting. And so I'm like, oh, okay, I feel like
Hmm.
that means it's right. So, uh,
Hmm.
in answer to the question, I don't know that I completely unplugged. I don't know that I ever completely unplug. I don't know that that's the role of an entrepreneur.
Hmm.
Um, because candidly, and this could be a topic for a whole other day. I think
Hmm.
work-life balance is a complete myth. I think it's a little bit like it's one of those things that we made up in uh, culture. That's okay. You have work-life balance, and you have to multitask. Both are horseshit, in my opinion. They're just like they're not true.
I hear
And
you.
so, um, so the way that I work is that if I go on vacation and then at the end of the vacation, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm ready to go back to work, then usually that
Mhm.
means I did it right. And that's how I felt at the end of this one.
Fair. Yeah, I honestly agree. And the one thing we've said this a couple times, so I'm going to say it for anybody else that's listening. One of the switches that I made, I want to say in January of this year, was getting a work cell phone. For the longest time, I had a very strict boundary of not having my email on my cell phone because I felt like talk about work-life balance. I was checking my email at every hour of the day, no matter what
Yep.
was going on, no matter who was there. I was constantly checking my email, and I felt like that was pulling me away from quite literally enjoying my husband's presence.
Yeah.
And so it was an important thing that I did, and I ended up getting a kind of work phone that anybody can have access to my cell phone, like that cell phone number. They can text me, they can email me at any hours of the day, and I can leave it in the hotel room. And so it
Mm.
was nice because if I wanted to take it down to the pool with us or down to the beach with us, like if I knew I had an important project, I could, but I didn't most days because I didn't need to because we thankfully have a great internal team that was able to help with a lot of this stuff.
That's key.
But um having that I think has been a game changer in the moments of travel that
Yeah.
when we're on the flight, I can still monitor stuff. When we're up and at 'em, this is an easy thing. I don't have to get out my whole computer. I can still keep an eye on stuff. So that one's been a one that I've a change that I've enjoyed, and we've
Mm-hmm.
talked about it with a couple different people that have been like, "Oh, I've thought about that," and I recommend it. It's really the
Okay.
summary of that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. All right. I like it. All right. So I think I sent you this one, but I'll let you unpack it
yes. Okay.
because it was one of those that we've talked about this before. I think this was a topic from Morning Brew, which is my morning
Hmm.
newsletter that I read. And I
Yes.
caught this and I was like, I want to hear what Jade has to say about this one.
Hmm. Okay, so this topic is Gen Z is repackaging hustle culture on TikTok again. The new focus challenge, the Great Lock-In, is what it's going to be called. It kicked off on September 1st and is supposed to help you achieve your goals. And the whole point is to essentially get a head start on
Mhm.
like rather than setting your goals at the new year for the whole year, you're getting a head start on them now. So whether you're locking in on fitness or work or whatever. Um, I if you want my thoughts, I think it's hilarious that we're renaming it because I'm pretty sure as of like a month ago they were canceling hustle culture. So I think it's kind of odd. Um, it's hilarious to me that this isn't now. What I will say, last year around this time, I did this where I was like, no, I want to get a head start on my year goals. Like, I don't want to wait until December. That's stupid. It's October and I should start now. And it's funny because one of those was just reading for me last year.
Mhm.
And then when I set my goals for the new year, I said I wanted to finish a couple of the goals that I set. And I've done that. And so it feels good because I finished a couple of my like
Mm,
2025 goals already. And I'm not
yeah,
waiting until October to like now I'm starting on next year's goals rather
love
than
that.
it does feel a little bit like you're getting a head start. But the idea that Gen Z is repackaging it is whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I had a couple thoughts on this one.
Yeah, hit me.
So my initial reaction is I love it. I love it. You call it
Okay,
whatever the hell you want. The idea
fair.
that there is a movement for hard work is
Heck
exciting
yeah.
to me.
I hear you on
There's
that.
that there is a movement. Call it ball busting. I don't give a damn what you call it. The idea that you want to say, hey, we're locking in, we're going to focus on our goals, we're going to try and improve ourselves. I'm going to run that. Dude,
That's fair.
show
That's a
me
great
more
point.
of that. I don't
Yeah,
care what
that's a
you call it.
valid point.
Yeah. So that,
Touche.
because I think everything's different, but it's like the hate on hustle culture. Don't get me wrong. You can take anything to an extreme. You can take lazy assness to an extreme. People do it all the
Hmm.
time. I actually don't see the hate on that, which is weird to me.
Hmm.
Um,
Interesting.
right? So I think the hate on hustle culture is wildly overblown
Hmm.
because it's like the one thing that you can control in your life is your effort. Can't
Hmm.
control your height or your talent or your artistic ability, or you can control your effort. And so the
Hmm.
idea, I am always fascinated by the pushback
Hmm.
on the hustle culture, or hard work is not how you get anywhere. That's just not
Just simply not the
statistically
truth.
accurate. Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
not true. And
Uh-huh.
so I love, and by the way, this has also been my experience. I hate it when I hear generations generalize about other generations. When
Mm,
Boomer or Gen X says, "Oh, Gen Z's lazy." No, they're not. Like it's
right. Hmm.
intellectually lazy to say that, because just
Hmm.
because you know one lazy person, I know plenty of lazy boomers, plenty.
Uh-huh.
So
Hmm.
like that drives me crazy. And so to see and saying they're locking in, great.
Hmm.
Embrace that. I am down for it. I love it. Okay. That's
Hmm.
enough of the rant on that. But the thing that you said that I want to jump on, that I get excited about, is, and actually credit where credit is due, John Acuff talks about this a lot, and he's got the podcast is All It Takes Is a Goal. He's written a book called All It Takes Is a Goal, and
Hmm.
he actually has an online course that starts like right now, or maybe even a
Mm.
week or two ago, about
Hmm.
starting your goals now and not waiting for January 1st. There's
Hmm.
data around the idea that you can create momentum so that once January 1st hits, you're on
You're
the right
doing it.
track. Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
I love everything about this. And I think
Hmm.
that there's data to back it up. And then there's also the idea that, hey, call it whatever you want. Hard work
Hmm.
generally works.
The other thing that like it kind of came across my brain while you were talking, but I've thought about it before, is that to an extent, like in my brain, me trying a goal in the fourth quarter of the year, see, I said it right that time, is
Good.
almost like a test run for the next
Yeah.
year. Like
Yeah.
it sets me up for like, is this actually achievable? Like, for example, our sales. I have a number in my head, but I need to implement these processes to make that number happen. And so this fourth quarter is I got to implement all those processes and see is that number attainable or should I make it even higher? Should I do this with it? And it's almost like my test zone for the next year, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes total sense. Okay. Not only test zone to see how it goes.
Hmm.
So a lot of times we try goals on January 1st that we don't know if we'll like them.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend the next year learning to cook. And by January 10th, you're like, I hate this. I don't like cooking at all.
Hmm.
Why would I want to play piano? Like, and so
Right.
the idea
Hmm.
of testing out a goal, you might go, oh, I would actually rather do this other goal. And now I can do that in a way that I don't feel like a failure. Like,
Well, and
I
also
love everything about it.
I hate when we set goals in January, and I know this is probably a hot take. That's my busiest time of year between the holidays and like life, and a lot of times that's when my husband travels for work a lot, and we typically go to Vegas. And setting a goal right when I'm about to
Mhm.
travel and do a bunch of stuff is setting myself up for failure 90%
Mm,
of the time. So I'm
yeah,
going to do it now when I have some stability in my life, and
I
then
like
by
it.
January 1st, it's habit. Like by that point in time, it's just habit and it's natural. And so, anyways, I could go on about this all day too.
No, this is a solid one. This is a fun topic. So I
I like
appreciate
it.
you jumping in. Okay, cool. Well, let us know what you think. I'm curious to know if you are in the audience, if you disagree with my hot takes about hustle culture, and you think that you can sit on the couch and eat Twizzlers on your way to marathon success.
Twizzlers sound good now.
Yeah, it actually does sound good. But let me know what you think about any of these topics. But before we leave you, we got a couple other topics, and one of them is the product
of the week.
Yep.
So this week, our product of the week is the NFC Scribe. So this is a pen that has NFC technology. And yes, I pulled this up. If you don't know what NFC technology is, it is near field communication. So it lets two devices talk to each other. So think you tap your phone on the back of the pen and it's going to, yeah, it did it. It's yelling at me. It brings a website up so that you go directly to the website that is linked within these pens. I think this is so cool. This is killer for like trade shows. This is killer just to hand out all the time if you're running a campaign. This is sick. I think these are so cool.
It is the combination of digital and physical marketing. I love it so much. And again, affordable, a nice pen. It's a quality writing instrument.
I actually really like it.
Yep. And like I'm telling you, you name the industry, I can come up with the thing that so, college, boom, you give a campus tour or an application, right? If you are a bank, tap it, open an account. Like wherever your call to action is on your website, you tap it and it takes them there. For us, we need to, like right now, that taps and it goes to our website. Super cool. We need to do one that taps it and takes it to our offer for the free book. Right? Like
that's great. So many uses for these. These are so cool. I really like, and also, so the other one I saw somebody do was if you have like a Popple business card or one of the digital business cards, you can put that link on here and then it opens it to your Popple. And then when you're handing these out, they're getting your business card. So you could do these personalized to you and do these as the business card. These are about $3.75 at EQP. They do have a 100-piece minimum. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different pricing, but I think these are so solid. And like once people know what they are, they're like, oh, I have somebody doing it for like a donation thing. They're looking for donations, so they're handing these out and it gives you the link to donate something. These are a really random one that, and by the way, when you're carrying your phone like this, because I do this at like events, and this is a pen that was actually given to me at an event. I was carrying it, was like, why is my phone beeping? Because it like vibrates and says, hey, open this link. And so then that link was up on my phone all day long because I never closed out of it. So it's truly, I love this one. This is a really good one.
Yeah, super functional from a marketing perspective. That one, yeah, I agree with you. Okay, so that's the product of the week. And now each week we do a shout out. So our shout out, we try to do something where we push out some good into the world. And honestly, we don't push the good out into the world. We just showcase the people who are pushing out good into the world. We had like 3 or 4 ideas this week, and usually we've done things that are pretty close to our region. This week, I actually want to showcase somebody who's doing good work around the world. So you want to talk a little bit about this one?
Yeah, I will happily talk about it partially because I am doing a whole social media video around it, which I will tell you a little bit about. So PromoCares is a group of industry do-gooders that essentially are doing stuff that is socially and economically just good for the environment. So many different ways, so many different things that they're doing. This time they partnered with Planet Water Foundation. So they actually did this last year. And I didn't realize that. I missed it last year. I was out of the loop. But so they did this last year. They asked for donations. They typically did it within the industry, but anyone is welcome to make donations. So if you are interested, we can of course link this. Last year they raised $170,000 and they were able to build 7 water towers, providing clean, safe drinking water in a sanitation area, accessible to more than 12,000 children and community members. Huge. This year, their goal is to raise $200,000, which will build 10 and then reaching 18,000 people. They've posted videos. They're going over there and seeing all the people that they're helping. And it is like, once you read into some of the stats, you got to go to the website and see all the good stuff. It like pulls at your heartstrings. Yeah. So they sent me this water bottle to raise awareness so that I could tell everybody about it, and it worked.
Yeah.
Look at that. Merch works. But so this one has on the back of it, this is just a fun water bottle that they did that, if you're interested, we can also link this, has the like water countdown. So today I am doing a video, how much water I drink versus how many times I pee.
Yeah,
Because
just
do
showing
good.
off. Yeah, that's right. You're just showing off.
I'm
No,
really excited about this.
so the PromoCares organization, just good people. You said something about it's a group of do-gooders, and that's true. So it's a great organization doing good, not only in the region, but in the world. So
In the
good
world.
stuff. Good stuff.
Yes.
All right.
Obsessed.
Yeah, that's awesome. So thank you for all that you do if you're a part of PromoCares or if you've donated to PromoCares. So that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's gonna wrap up this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you think about trying to platforms that you could partner with. Let the NFL going. You can, I guess, rant on social media that the NFL is making you pay for all these things. But yeah.
Heck yeah.
Any feedback from the podcast today, we always love it. As we've mentioned, this is brought to you by Hasseman Marketing. If you want to learn more, head to hassemanmarketing.com and you can find all kinds of tools and tricks and content there. Jade, thanks so much. It's always fun to chat with you. See you next time.
See you. Bye.